leading initiatives for diverse projects. As the Director of Digital and Online Learning at VTDI, he plays a pivotal role in shaping tertiary level education by leveraging his experience, vision, and commitment to innovation. Mark's journey reflects a deep passion for learning and an unwavering dedication to positive change in education, leaving a lasting legacy in the digital age. Mark is strategic in his contribution to the wholesome development and implementation of cutting-edge technologies, methodologies, and best practices in the online education space. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mark McKnight, take a bow, sir. Can we clap a little better than that? Last but certainly not least, Mr. Ryan McCullough. Ryan McCullough is a dedicated and experienced instructional technologist with years of proven expertise in integrating technology into educational settings to enhance teaching and learning experiences. He has a passion for leveraging digital tools to create engaging and interactive learning environments. In his role at the NCU, Ryan has successfully collaborated with educators and administrators to implement innovative technology solutions that drive success. He is proficient in a variety of educational technologies, learning management systems, and multimedia tools. He also possesses a strong understanding of instructional development and stays current with the latest trends in educational technology. Ryan also has a very deep interest in artificial intelligence and how the tool can be used to solve many of the issues faced by students and faculty at all levels. He maintains that technology can be used to transform the educational sector, and he's committed to researching and leveraging all tools that can enhance the teaching and learning process. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Ryan McCullough. The research by these gentlemen focuses on the integration of AI in the teaching and learning TVET, STEM, STEAM, stream TV's processes. This research explores the integration of AI into the teaching and learning process, investigating its impact on educational outcomes. Through a comprehensive lit review and empirical analysis, they examine AI-driven tools, adaptive learning systems, and virtual assistants in educational settings. Without further delay, ladies and gentlemen, I welcome this afternoon, I don't know how they're going to do it, our speakers for this research session. Can we give them a round of applause? Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us. We look forward to having this discussion. Now, on screen, if you're able to see it from where you are, you have that wonderful word that's been recurring for the last couple of months. It has always been around, but for the last probably 12 to 18 months, it's really been on fire. AI. Right? And for some people, it's a godsend. So for students, do you like AI? Yes, exactly. And when we talk to our students, when we go to the research functions, when we have the discussions, our students are excited by AI. But guess who's not very happy about the AI journey? Our faculty, our teachers, our administrators. So hopefully from our research, what we're hoping to do is allow everyone to see that there's something in AI for everyone. Now, artificial intelligence is disruptive. What does it mean to disrupt? Exactly. It puts an arm in everything. Disruption, it changes the direction that everything is going in. So 3 years ago when you said AI, guess what people were thinking? Well, as soon as the clicker agrees with me. Okay. We also need AI for that. But yeah. Okay. So before now, when you heard of AI, what were you thinking? You'd be thinking, yeah. And for some of us that are old enough, you may actually know Robocop. That was one of our early experiences with AI, being a robotic policeman who would solve crime by being helped by technology. So essentially, artificial intelligence is humans being mimicked by technology for a purpose. Now, much of it seems scary. It does not look hopeful for mankind, because in most of these scenarios, it's painted as if the machines are going to take over. And for some of our teachers and faculty, it may seem as if the machines have taken over the assignments that have been submitted. I remember just last week, I had a meeting with a faculty member who was concerned because the language that was being used in some of the assignments was way above the level of literacy within that particular cohort. So it means that as much as it is a positive thing for education, it's a double-edged sword. Because one, it may rob us of the actual ability to gain intelligence. And we heard from our keynote speaker that using this can make money. So if you're not able to pair it with artificial intelligence, you may end up losing money and losing your abilities to technology or those who employ it. And I'm happy that the students are actually agreeing, because usually they're the ones that want to use it to get away with not doing their assignments. But we need to also be responsible in how we use and employ technology. So today, we'll be looking at, quickly, an overview of artificial intelligence. We're going to be looking at the impact. And for some of you, you may be familiar with TVET. Half of our team is from the Vocational Training Development Institute, and we work on TechVoc education. We're about technical education. We're about skills training. We're about competency-based learning. But also, we're paired with a liberal arts university, Northern Caribbean University, and they do a lot of STEM, STEAM, and STREAM. But under AI, there's not that real big of a distinction. Because what AI does, it puts data together, and just as the math professor shared with us earlier, it's really just running a matrix. You ask a question, it looks through big data, it looks for the most accurate response, and it provides it. And we have to keep training it to give better responses, because without the humanness, it's going to sound very robotic, inhuman, and it may not even always respond in a way. And there's also the problem of biases. So for example, if you collected all your data from North America and Canada, if you were to ask it what are the favorite fruits, it would be telling you what? Peaches and radishes as vegetable. And how many people have been to the market to buy radishes lately? So you see, a bias could actually come from your data set, because we go to buy yam, banana, dasheen, cocoa, whatever. If we're talking fruits, we know chief of fruits among Jamaicans is you better say mango, right? So mango, so if the data set is not pulled from a diverse pool, the responses you get might skew you or bias you in a way that makes it obvious that it's not the most accurate response. Now, artificial intelligence is an opportunity, but it has to be used responsibly. We just heard the CEO of a $2 billion company said that he had a $20 employee. Who was that $20 employee? ChatGPT. That's the monthly subscription. But he had to do what? He had to train it to think the way he thinks. So it's an opportunity and it's a threat. The opportunity is you have almost an unlimited supply of responses and answers. But what is the threat for people who don't have the skills or access to the technology? It means that somebody that has more access and more resources will get there faster. It means that if you don't acquire the skills, you will be replaced or displaced. And these are the real world things that we came upon when we did the research and we started looking at the scholarship in the area. One of the other things that we realized is that it went across every single discipline. So students might be using it to do what? What subjects do you use AI to help you with? Math, English, art, science, all of them. Faculty, what are you using AI to help you with? Research, exam questions, diversifying how question banks are developed, case studies, and recommendations. So writing even a template for a recommendation letter or an application letter, it will do a good background search that will allow you to optimize your finished product. But we also have to be mindful because, for example, one of the biggest threats to knowledge in developing nations is access. Now, if you don't give access to our students within our classroom, within our communities, essentially what we have done is made the problem even worse because it means that those that have it elsewhere will move ahead way more quickly. If you look at this graph, if you're able to see it clearly, you'll notice that in the early 90s, and this was when I was at the University of Technology, the big thing for us was the internet. That was a big technology thing that was happening in the early 90s. I remember being in class in 1994 at the University of Technology. Then I thought it was still called CAST, College of Art, Science and Technology. But that was when the first website was launched in the Caribbean. And for students, that might sound as if how could it be? But that was the big thing in the early 90s, just getting commercial websites up and out into the world. And then the next big thing that came with that was Google and Amazon and PayPal and all those things tied to the internet. Right now, Google is used as a verb. What does it mean to Google something? To search. We actually saw that happen in our life. Now for the young people, they might not know what a Nokia 3310, that was it. But that was one of the best devices ever made. That thing could be used to drive a nail. It was indestructible, but it was not a smartphone. But it got us access to calling, and that was a big thing at the time. The next big thing now that we're a part of in the last 2 years is the AI surge. And it's literally the thing that is supporting every single industry going forward. So whether you're in TVET, whether you're in STEM, whether you're in STEAM, whether you're in STREAM, it's saying that AI is here to harmonize what you do and make it easier and better. Mark is going to come and discuss with us some of the issues coming out of AI that we found in our research. And then Ryan will give us our response in terms of a toolkit of things that you as students and faculty could benefit from. I put to you that it's not scary. For AI, the biggest opportunity for faculty is that it's an endless teaching assistant. You can have it support all disciplines of instruction. And for every student, it's a personalized tutor in any content area. So if you're struggling with Spanish, with French, with math, with English, any subject area, a properly tuned system could be your personal teacher and support. And this is what we'll look at in our literature research today. I thank you for having me. Now let's welcome Mark.
What's one word that you have that you could give to describe AI? One word that you would use to describe AI.
Smart, yeah.
Smart. Revolutionary.
Disruptive.
Disruptive. Simple. What's it? Condensed. Duplicate. And that's what it is, that's what it does. Now, your perspective of it will be determined by your biases, how you use it, how you see it, how you feel about it, how you relate to it. And so here, so here, that's where we are now. And so we have this technology, and then we have something that we are all involved in, and that's our education system. Tell me one word that you would use to describe our education system. If it's not a nice word, say it's soft.
Outdated.
What's one word to describe our education system?
Unresponsive.
Nobody wants to tell me. It seems as if persons might be subscribing to the adage that if you don't have anything good to say, is that it? That you don't have anything good to say, so you're not saying it at all? But here we have our education system that has been around for a while with its practices. If you know the history of it, it goes way back to how it's implemented, how it plays out. And then now we couple it with this new emerging, fast-moving thing. So how can we go about merging these two?
And this is why we need AI. Okay, so harmonization, yes.
Wonderful. And so this is where we are. How do we merge now this fast-moving, fast-paced, modern, helpful thing with this archaic, old, outdated thing that we need, and that's very beneficial. And so that's what we're here to look at. And so how can we integrate our STEM, our STEAM, our STREAM, our TVET, how can we put that into a melting pot with our artificial intelligence to benefit us in an ethical and productive way? And so we look first of all at what might be the factors that might cause us challenge. And here we have to go back to our B word, which is our biases. And so the first one, the first hindrance, and it's very large, is a resistance to change. It's a resistance to change. Now, some of our students are very happy about AI and very quick to gravitate towards it. And because the mindset might be, I have work and it makes my work easier. We have, at another level, we have some of our teachers, our lecturers, who have a different mindset. How do I ensure that this work reflects accurately the level of this student? And that's a different mindset, a different outlook. And then at another level, we have a school administrator. How can I ensure that the assessment that comes out of my school and the assessment used within my school accurately reflects and can stand up to scrutiny in the wider society? So we have those different perspectives that play out, and then in the middle of all of that, we have AI and its use. And so there's going to be some resistance, there's going to be some apprehension about it. And so we have to look at how do we best use this technology to overcome resistance and foster a culture of innovation, collaboration, critical for success of AI. Because if we have a tool, we want to use that tool so that all is benefited. So we have to look at how that plays out. Another thing that is a hindrance is our ethical concerns. If you've been looking at work that students have been handing in teachers, and students, maybe you've gotten feedback from your teacher questioning whether you are the one that actually did this work. And so in the middle of that, AI will do that because it's as if you have a different mind in the middle of both. And Steve spoke about the mango. Now, if I was from another country, if I was from North America or South America or the Middle East, and I did a search on what might be the most popular fruit in Jamaica, and it told me like a grape, then I might accept it. But as a Jamaican, if I do that search and it tells me that it's a grape, then I will know that that's not correct. And so there are ethical issues, but it also comes back to how we are able to tune, how we're able to teach, how we're able to manage AI to be able to bring out what is accurate. Because if somebody far away learns something that's not true about our culture, about our school, about us, then they might go on to repeat and spread that information, and then it can eventually become true even though it's not. And so we have to be careful that whatever biases out there exist, then those can be addressed. And so that's a concern. We also have the digital divide. We have, among us, we have digital citizens that are attached to their technology. And we also have digital immigrants, those who use the technology a little bit, but it's not so first place to them. And we don't mention the digital deportees and the digital foreigners who are totally opposed to technology. Because among us, in any education institution, you are still going to have persons who want their paper. There are going to be persons who have to print to read. There are going to be persons who you have to send an email, you don't want to use a shared file. And then there are going to be persons who are going to use everything, every new thing. And so we have different levels. In any institution, in any department, there are different levels of how we use and employ technology. And so that's also a big factor that will affect us in the use of AI. But what might be the positives? What might be the positive recommendations for AI? We have, it's a very good content assistant. Now a question for you. If you have $5,000, it's somewhere in your room. It's somewhere in your room, but you don't know, you can't find it, but you know you have $5,000. Do you really have it? Yes or no? You have it? Yes? Do you have it? Yes? That's that's the most doubtful yes I've ever seen. Do you have it? No, you change. It's on top of my head. So the beauty of AI is that you can find everything. Because if you don't know where your $5,000 is, you can't go and spend it to buy anything. You can't fill your belly. You can't use it to satisfy any need that you have. But with AI, it knows where everything is. In fact, AI is able to tell you where your $5,000 is, tell you what you can buy with it, tell you how much change you can get back, and tell you what you can spend that change for. So it does all of that for you. It's a very good content assistant, but it has to be taught how to do all of this for us. And then we look at learning personalities. We've had a chance to scan the room, and we've seen different behaviors, some persons by themselves, some persons collaborating, some persons integrated in their media, persons doing different things. Some persons forming sleep. And so there are different approaches to learning in a classroom, in any setting. And how do we take care of this? Teachers have always had challenges with this because you have a limited time, you have to cater for every need, and so that takes a whole lot of preparation time. If you had an assistant could help with that. An assistant could also help to scope out the different behaviors that we have and make provisions to cater to the needs of those different learners. And then we have the modernizing of our society. And AI will help to do that. We have a classroom that is set up a particular way based on the needs that existed a couple decades ago. So the needs behind the setup of our classroom was based on a couple decades ago. Not now. We don't need to set up our classroom like that anymore because we don't have that need. But yet still we do. And so AI will help us to move, to change, to adapt, to cater for all of the different challenges that we have. That's a hand. Yes. Who created AI? Do we have a name? AI has been around in different forms. But basically what AI is do you do IT? You do IT? So AI is based on algorithms. A basic algorithm is that if you have money, then you can do something. If you have money, then you can buy food. So it checks a condition and then takes an action. So it's based on coding, and then now this has been adapted over and over and become more complex, but it's really a computer asking a question. If this is the case, what do I do? Then it checks and adapts upon that. So it's, programming has been around for a while, so it's built and based on this. So it goes back to what Steve shared in the slide about the development of AI. And Ryan, yes, will answer that. All right, so I'm now going to hand over to Ryan, who will take us into the last part of our presentation.
Good afternoon, everyone. All right, so Steve would have asked a question earlier on. What are some of the use cases where we see AI being used, right? Some of the teachers mentioned that they use it to assist with their lesson plan writing, students for essay writing, and those are the main things that most persons use AI to do. But the truth is, we haven't even scratched the surface of what AI can do, right? I was administering an exam recently, and I saw where a student popped out her phone, right, and had it under the desk. And when I checked the student phone, it was actually ChatGPT that the student had up, right, and they were using AI in that manner. But the truth is that AI, it goes way deeper than that. I was even in a meeting just yesterday with some administrators from in the US, and they were saying that they have been doing this study for the past around 4 years. Right, so Jamaica is really, really behind, and we want to just share with you some of the use cases where AI can be used to just assist students and also teachers in making their life a bit easier, right? And the first one is that AI can be used for personalized learning, right? So just imagine a scenario where we have this English course, right? And we have this AI system built in where it actually does an initial test, really, and it is a platform which uses reading, writing, and comprehension skills data to identify a learner's area of proficiency and developmental opportunities. Right? A lot of persons don't like English, right? The persons who prefer math usually don't gravitate to English as much, but AI tools have been proven to assist in that very manner, right? So we imagined, or we came up with the idea where we could create a platform which uses assessment data to tailor the course content to fit the student's need, right? We as teachers as well, sometimes we want to Well, we as teachers want our students to actually succeed, right? But we often hear the saying going around that teachers are so burdened down with so many things, right? They can't cater to all students.
That's an amazing question. The question was, what safeguards do we have as educators to protect not only the quality of work, but the integrity of what is being submitted? And that is a work in progress. Because what is happening is that it became a commercially available product way before we had protocols and policies and safeguards in place. But what it does, it challenges how we design our assessment. So for example, if you design your assessment and it's project-based, and you teach them how to use it as a tool to mine data, but they still need to create it into something that AI can assist, but they still need to give it their final touch. They have to curate it, they have to reposition it, they use it as a source of creation. Then because we have made the assignment using AI as part of the toolkit, they're no longer hiding to do it. They're proud to use it, and we're proud to help them market. But they now have to, for example, AI cannot help me present this PowerPoint. It can help me do the research, but I now need to know the content. I need to know the background. So you then ask, what is the legal framework? What are the responses? What tools are applicable? So they use it to search, but they now need to be conversant in it to provide the real world answers. And don't miss the point. A $2 billion company is using a $20 employee to help make them more efficient. So it means it's not a bad thing. It just needs to be used in the appropriate way. So let us use AI as a knowledge finder, as a content expert, but also let us use it to develop our minds. Thank you, sir, for your question. Any questions from the floor from our students? We could probably pass this mic on, and all right, so from the floor, and you could be my usher after.
Okay, so my question is, what advice would you give to a student who use ChatGPT as a search engine in their daily lives at the tertiary level?
All right, so Ryan, what would you say to your students? You're teaching your programming class, and they're using ChatGPT to help them produce some amazing C++ coding. What advice would you give them as it relates to the work world and how to go about their journey forward?
All right, so the truth is, we can use AI. I strongly recommend that we use it. But the truth is, learning must take place, right? So we don't want to just use the AI to simply regurgitate information or data and put it on a piece of paper. AI, as I mentioned, as I said, we are just really just scratching the surface in terms of just doing research and so on. But as I mentioned earlier on, AI tools are out there that can assist us in understanding the concept a bit better, right? So I really advise that you use it in that manner and not just to share information with others.
So it's a toolkit, but also remember that you have a responsibility to develop your mind. Any other questions from the floor? Yes, another question. The mic is, yes.
Can you tell us the names of some of those tools that you mentioned that are out there for use?
All right, sure. Mark?
Tools you mean in terms of GPT? I think the easiest one for you to access is Copilot. It's the closest thing. So on your Microsoft Edge, that's the browser that Microsoft that's Microsoft's browser. Built into that, there is an application called Copilot. And so you can just open the browser. You don't have to install anything. Open the browser. The icon is there. Or you can just search for Copilot and it will come up. And you can click in and you can start typing in the text that you want it to respond to. So it's right there already, and you can just try it out.
There are other tools out there as well. There are many others, and these are all free to use to some extent, right? ChatGPT is the more popular one, but there are more powerful tools out there. Currently, or in recent months, there was the advent of Claude AI. So that one is really Claude AI, right? So that one is Claude, C-L-A-U-D-E. So Claude AI, and there are many others which are free to use out there. And Barb as well, Barb with Google, right? So you can just do your research, and they're all out there that can be used to assist.
You matter, okay. Question.
Good afternoon. Students often say when they use the AI and they hand me their assignments, I notice they don't put their references. They'll say, Miss, this something never have no reference. And I say, no, it's because you use the ChatGPT incorrectly. How can they use ChatGPT honestly, but also ask ChatGPT for references? Can that be done? Or sources?
All right, so that's a very important question. A big part of what I do is research. And one thing about most AI engines is that if it can't find what you're asking for, it will give you the best thing like it. That's a double-edged sword. So you can generate a list of references, but when you interrogate them, like half of them were made by ChatGPT. So my advice is, don't discourage it. You simply say, this is a subscription from Bethlehem. Check with the library. You have access to your different peer-reviewed journals. And then when they ask for the source, you can ask them to do an annotated bibliography where they go, find the source, write about the source. What was the study about? Who did the peer review? When was it published? What was the size of the sample? Those questions are not questions that can just be generated per se. It has to be personalized because you then have to take ownership of the process because you want to precisely speak about, if I'm talking about mangoes and I'm referencing apples, immediately is a red flag. So you now teach as part of your use of the tool of AI, the responsible research methodologies. How do you document? How do you verify? How do you choose different sources? And how do you make references, whether you're choosing APA, MLA, Chicago, whatever your writing style of your institution or college or department, you enforce it because you don't have to view it as detrimental. Many of the faculty I spoke with over the last couple of months, they are so livid about it. But let's be honest, how many people have used a hammer? How many people own a hammer or use one to do something? Hammer? Is you make it? But you use it, not true? So why are we beating people over the head about AI use? It is a tool, we're using it, we just need to use it ethically, responsibly, name your sources, reference properly, give people the credit for the support and the work that they did. And then you are doing exactly what you will do in work world. Because we just heard a $2 billion company locally has a $20 US employee called ChatGPT. So it's a tool. Any other questions? One more? Okay. Who is taking the last question? Yes, could we get her a mic, please? She's somewhere in the back. She's coming to meet you. And thank you all for your questions. They've been amazing questions. We really enjoy responding to them. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My question is that does an AI cause a negative impact and an unbalance in the grading of students where it can cause a misconception where a person who has used their knowledge, their information, based on things that they understand and they develop critical thinking in their own way, and a person that uses AI does not have that development and has a more higher grade than the person who thinks. So I think that it can cause a very negative impact towards a person's grade, and that can affect in the tertiary education when a person is supposed to get their grades. So that's my question.
Thank you for your question, and that's an amazing question. I'm glad we're ending with that question. Now, the thing is, we had this discussion coming out of Kingston this morning, and at the end of the day, what myself and Mark agreed on is that we have a people problem. What you just described was not a problem with AI. You had a problem with how people were willing to misrepresent their knowledge using any tool available. Now, before AI, people were still paying people to do their assignments. People were going online and hiring somebody in India to write a paper. I've read many research papers, assignment submissions. I've marked code that I know the person don't even know the language that they're coding in, but they have given you very pristine code. Somebody else wrote it. And sometimes when you check it, the person is a professional in some other entity. When you check even in the metadata, you can see that somebody at PricewaterhouseCoopers, somebody at BOJ helped them with it, somebody at NCB, at Scotia, because it's hidden in the details. So the truth is, what you're talking about is not an AI problem. We have to teach people to be ethical, to be responsible, and to take ownership of their work and also value their development. Because there's this thing called an imposter syndrome. When you get one job and you can't do work because you don't know what to do, AI will help you be in that position. Actually use it as a learning tool. It is a wonderful tool, but above all things, use it as a learning tool. Develop yourselves through AI. Use it to augment your practice and your skill sets. Thank you for having us. This was amazing. We look forward to coming back.
Can we give them a louder round of applause? I think they did an excellent job. Thank you so much, gentlemen. At this time, I'm going to invite Ms. Latoya Edwards to do the vote of thanks.
Good afternoon, everyone. So, Mr. Mark McKnight, Mr. Ryan McCullough, and Mr. Steve Lawrence, on behalf of us here at BMC, I extend a heartfelt thank you to all the presenters who shared their expertise and insights on artificial intelligence today. Your presentations were not only informative but also engaging, providing valuable knowledge and perspectives on this cutting-edge technology. We truly appreciate the time and effort you dedicated to preparing, delivering your talks, enriching our understanding of artificial intelligence and its implications. Thank you for contributing to a successful and enlightening event such as our Research Day. And of course, because I was just called on to do the vote of thanks, my vote of thanks was done by AI.
Thank you so much.
Please don't go. Wait for instructions for lunch. Please wait for instructions. Please don't go, students. Hold on. All right, so we are now, Miss Carnegie, Language Arts, right? Festival? All right, so the Language Arts Festival starts now. It coincides with lunch. So as you enjoy lunch, students, you're going to be ushered to the dining room. Do we have any ushers in here to take them to the dining room? All right, so meet Madame at the back outside. She's going to take you to the dining room. She's coming around. All right, thank you so much. Please go around to the quadrangle for the language arts concert and presentation, and we'll wrap the day up. All right, everyone? Thank you so much.